Okay, here we go, our A-line elevated. So I'll start off on the right side. I'll comb out a slightly diagonal section. I use quite high elevation. I'm at about 40 degrees here, and I'm cutting just slightly A-line within my fingers. Make sure your guideline is beyond super clean. So next, slightly diagonal section, I will increase my elevation. So one way to control this section best is to stand right there at that shoulder and then work a large section by breaking it into like two smaller, more manageable pieces, and make sure you're combing the hair super clean from roots to the ends. Okay, now this third section, I'll be elevating higher than that second. So I'm building graduation through elevation. I'm also building graduation through that angle in my finger. And I'm also building graduation through over direction. So the three forms to create graduation, I'm implying them all right here. Okay, so for our fourth and final section, again, we'll be increasing our elevation, combing the hair super clean from roots to our guideline, standing at the shoulder, elbow, scissors, fingers, all parallel. Pull the hair out. Make sure that you comb the hair. The strands are parallel to the teeth of your comb. Comb the hair to natural fall. Now for the opposite side, I'll be cutting the exact technique. So as I do my guideline, the pressure's on because I have to make sure that the level of elevation on the left side, my new guideline, is exactly the same level of elevation as the right side. So I elevated to about 40 degrees. So that's a good measurement to just help me stay on target, check for symmetry and balance. Okay, so now we'll take our next slightly diagonal section. Remember, our second section will be elevating higher than the first, so we're building up graduation, more softness. The overall end result will tuck under, and after this cut, I'll be perming her hair. So again, combing the hair. Now, as I cut the left side, I'm standing slightly in front of the nose. So with my body position here, it'll give me the greatest amount of control. Now remember, the third section, elevate higher than the second. Break these large sections into smaller, more manageable. And as you comb the hair, don't comb it really fast. You need ample time as you comb the hair from roots to your guideline to make visual assessments. What you're assessing is whether or not your over direction is on, whether or not your elevation is proper, and whether or not you've combed the hair super clean from roots to ends. So don't comb too fast because you won't allow yourself enough time to make these assessments. And always have your eyes really near the area where you're working. Okay, so now jumping to the back, I'll separate them in two sections. I'll separate left and right. I'm combing the hair onto the skin, and I'm cutting in a slightly angled line. So I'll work some of it between my fingers, some of it on the skin. Now with the second section, I'll begin to elevate a little bit higher, staying on my guideline. As I cut the left portion, I'm standing slightly behind her left shoulder. So this position will also allow me to have the best control of my over direction. So actually the shape that I'm cutting in my fingers is just slightly A-line, borderline square. And make sure that you're combing that hair super clean. So at this point, we're starting to blend our lengths through the sides. Next section again, I'll increase my over direction and elevation. Standing pretty much in front of what I'm cutting. And as I work towards the left, my body position is at that same point, connecting onto the sides. So we're just dusting those corners so everything fits. And now for the opposite side, we'll do the exact same technique. I take a piece of the guideline from the left side, and as I cut the right side, I make sure I always have a piece of the guideline from the left. Working with horizontal sections, increasing my elevation. By increasing my elevation, I'm building graduation so it'll encourage that shape to bevel under. And also, again, after this haircut, I will be perming her hair. I'll be doing that triad perm technique. So it'll give that textured hair a beautiful, like tucking in curvature. So that's why I selected graduation as opposed to layers this time around. So again, over directing, building up that A-line, and here we're again connecting with the sides. Okay, so now as I move to the top area, I'm working with diagonal sections. Now these diagonal sections, they'll incorporate the back and a portion from the side. So I have two guidelines. So when I comb these strands up, these two guidelines put together will give me a new angle. So I just have to make sure that I stay on that guide, making sure that I comb the hair super clean from roots to ends. And I approach the top area with really strong elevation because again, I want this shape to fall soft. I could approach the same haircut to the top with lower elevation and the overall effect would be much harder. So there's a lot of adaptations to this technique. Okay, so working this last section, I'll ease up on my tension just a bit to allow for the fineness of the hair around the hairline. Still on my guideline. Combing that hair straight out. Now I'll approach the left side in the exact same manner, curved sections. My guideline comes from the back and the sides, and I'll take a little bit of the guideline from the top right portion. As you're cutting, the more guidelines you have, the more support you have to perform a more excellent cut. So again, combing the hair slow enough that I can make all the visual assessments that I need to ensure that they're in check prior to opening my scissors and taking down hair. Okay, and again, just sliding up on that tension because on her left side, her hairline's a bit fine. And what reaches, just dusting in those lengths. Okay, so now for the finish, I'll go and I'll diffuse the hair. I use a lot of cream products, some mousse, a lot of gloss. And just as I diffuse the hair, I'm looking for a lot of natural curl. And the cream and the product is there to keep that curl together. And this is a finish for some steals. This is part of a collection I shot with a brand. We did 6 looks, so this is our curly look. So this is a haircut after it's perm. So our A-line elevated on curly hair. So you can see like the nice orbital shape that graduation creates. Okay, well there you have it. Enjoy!